And as Washington continues to battle it out over how can investors protect their portfolios from potential side effects? Let's put that question to Stephen Brozak. He's analyst and co-founder of WBB Securities. So, Steve, first of all, any idea in terms of how you think the Supreme Court justices will rule ultimately?
Well, you know what? The reality is it doesn't matter how they rule. The reality is that change is inevitable. Whether or not it's forced on us, whether or not they rule.
Because we have to. It's just gotten out of control.
I mean, it's you know, we on Wall Street cover the power of large numbers and of compounding. The reality is that we can't afford the compounding healthcare problems. And one of the reasons why the Obama administration took this on was because they just saw the numbers and they were becoming horrifically large and going to just grow. So 20 years from now, we can't afford what we have. Forget about what we think we're going to get.
What are the implications then for investors in terms of what they should be looking for at
well,
this point?
The reality is this, that the one pill a day fits all model is dead. And the pharmaceutical companies understand that. They just don't know what to do about it next.
But it's not going to go away anytime soon, is it?
That's the question. What will replace it if it does go away, and who will force the replacement? So what we're focused on are, what are the things that don't just quote unquote keep things in check, but actually restore the balance? And that's where we believe regenerative medicine fits the bill.
I want to talk to you about that, but I want to ask you, because the drug lobby is a very powerful one, as some have said, even more powerful than the financial lobby. So again, I go back to that point that that one pill a day model isn't going to go away anytime soon.
I think it'll be. I think that they see the writing on the wall too, because what they've started to do is they've started to scout out. Okay, who are the companies? What are the approaches that we can morph into? You know, Pfizer basically has made a big bet on going into regenerative medicine with a lot of different ideas and approaches. So you're starting to see the cracks in the wall. Now the question is, how far do they go in, and how quickly is it adopted? So
talk to me about some of the specific ones that you like. I know you've got some names for us.
Sure. The first one, and we've talked about it last time I was on the program, is a company called Biotime. They not only have a stem cell quote-unquote approach, but they also have a cancer diagnostic. And what they've done is their approach is to look and see about what the genetic anomalies are just through a simple blood test dealing with breast cancer. So imagine taking a blood test and instead of taking a mammogram.
It sounds ideal. Stock's down about 16%. Short interest is high on this name. That doesn't make you a little bit worried here?
You know what? We covered Celgene Corporation when it was a microcap, and people were saying a drug, thalidomide, coming out and dealing with the market. You know, look, bottom line is the critics, you know, they serve their purpose in terms of day trading, but as far as the long run, that's another matter.
What about a name like Celldex? And I point that out. I know you had a couple of names, but this stock is up more than 100% so far this year.
It's a great company. We believe in the story. It's actually one of those companies that flies underneath the radar screen. The reason is they have a specific patient cultured program for glioblastoma, terribly devastating cancer of the brain. What they do is they take your cells out, they go out there, they augment the cells, a vaccine so to speak, reintroduce them into the body, reintroduce them into the brain to deal with that specific cancer, and they've seen remarkable results. And the platform is a platform, i.e. you can turn it into other cancers. It's a really strong company.
Steve, part of your appeal of these names is that they're going to be possibly takeover targets from the big pharma?
You know, it's the appeal that they're going to collaborate. It's the appeal that they're going to be possible takeover candidates. It's the appeal that, quite candidly, they've got something that's completely different.
And you have no doubt that this is kind of the way we're going to go. We have to go.
If you can't restore the balance, what do you do?
I think we have time for one more name. Give me one more.
I'll give you one more name. Athersys. They just came out with numbers dealing with graft versus host disease. It's a terribly debilitating it's a terribly debilitating indication. Your body attacks itself. They have the ability to restore the balance, and that's a critically important area and a way to go.
Sounds like we really have to think very differently about healthcare in the future.
Exactly right.
Interesting. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
As always, thank you for having us on.
You bet. Steve Brozak. He's the co-founder and analyst.